Thank you for joining me today on Ready Aim Stamp. Again, I have my awesome friend Nancy here sharing her new card with us.
Hi guys. So first and foremost, I want to make sure that I give credit to Sharni Green from Australia because she made this wonderful card, but more importantly, she made this wonderful template, which of course was in metric, so I changed it to inches, but I just wanted to make that shout out to her really before I forgot, because that was so special of her to do that. I tried drawing it myself, Amy, and was not quite as successful as she was. So I appreciate people and their talents. So this card is called the Tower Fun card, and it is fun. It sits up, which of course on the camera you can't really see, but it's cool because it sits up all by itself. You don't have to explain to your recipient how to work your card. And then it has on the back where you can put another sentiment and a message. And yeah, and just also I want to talk about my butterflies. So my Winka Stella was not being kind to me, and so I decided to put alcohol in there and shook it up, and then when I put it down to use it, it like went hello all over my butterflies. So they're really shiny, and it even made a little bit of bling on the side, but I think it looks fine, and Amy thinks it looks fine, and that's all that really matters to the two of us. So
that's right.
There we go.
A happy accident.
Yes. So all right, we'll get started. So what I'm going to show you first is just what I cut out, and of course we're going to start with your basic cardstock, 5.5 by 8.5, and we'll be scoring on that. And before we do that, these are the I'll put this card back so you can see the contrasting black pieces. We have one that is 5.5 by 2.25, which Amy will be putting all these dimensions on there for you to see. Yes. And then we have this one, which is possibly 1.25 by 4 inches, which you can see some bling on there too if you look really close. This is 2 of them at 3/4 of an inch by 4 inches, and then 2 of them that are 3/4 by 5.25. So that's your contrasting colors for your card. And then I will show you also, we're going to do a little we're going to see what Amy thinks when we get to this part. So I've got 2 of your stitched
squares.
Somewhere I have them here. I was going to show them to you. What did I do with all that stuff, Amy? Oh, there it is.
Hid it under the pile.
Okay, so I'm using the stitch shaped framelits. They are a perfect size to do this. If you use the biggest one for this back here, which is these black ones, for this back here, and then you use the biggest one again for your sentiment. But I also cut these out, and I'm going to show you what they look like with some choices, I guess you could say. So
woo.
Yes,
but we won't be doing any live polls. I get to be the poll.
Yes, that's correct. And also I also have my butterflies, which is this Butterfly Brilliance, and I want to give Dawn with Dawn's Stamping Thoughts. Yes, Dawn Griffin. I want to give her credit for. I was not that fond of this set because it was one big stamp and one big die cut, and she had her husband cut her butterflies all apart, and then she cut the stamps all apart, and now I'm using this so much more. So I really appreciate that she I mean, it was a simple thing. Yeah, it was, you know, but I didn't think out of the box, and my husband helped me cut mine too. So
well, and I think sometimes we're so fearful to like make a change to our stamp set, even though it's going to make it where we're going to use it more.
Right.
It's our stamp set.
It's our stamp set. We can do what we want.
Yeah.
So
just make sure if you're selling your cards, you use the angel policy and give Stampin' Up! Credit for their copyrighted images.
Right. Okay, so we're going to get started. I'm going to bring the scoring cutting board in here. And you're going to take your 5.5 by 8.5 and you're going to score it at 1, 2, and 3. So I always start.
Ooh, someone didn't clean out that.
I always start with the one on this side, so I have the long side. Get that out of the way.
Make sure you use the right blade.
Yes.
Scoring.
And then I flip it because then there's more room. So 1, 2, watch me carefully, Amy. 1, 2, and 3. And then the same thing on the other end. So I'm going to again start with 1 out here. And then I'll flip it. And you don't have to do it that way. You can do it, you know, you can remeasure it and do it the way you want. But this is what works for me. 2.
It's fun
and
to
3.
see how our brains, everybody's brain works a little different.
Yeah, I'm just happy when my brain works. So, all right. So that's the simple part right there, just getting your score lines. Now we're going to do the cutting lines. So when you're cutting, I hope I can do this right on camera. All right. So we're going to be like this. So we're going to go down to that score line and cut 2 inches basically. So I'll show you what this means on here.
Do you need to, can you see your score line?
Oh yeah, I can see them. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if I look at my template here, it says to go 1 inch, which is the score line. And I'm going to go 1 inch on this side. So 1 inch and 1 inch. And I'm going to line this up, which is really tricky with that camera right in your face.
I know.
So as you can see, Amy has her strip on there. So you can see the numbers better, which is nice. So that's 1 inch. So now I'm going to go from 1 to 3. Okay. And I'm going to recheck just to make sure that's really what
Your top isn't.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Amy. See, that's why Amy's here. She keeps track of me. Yes, so you're going through the first to the next score line and then the next one. So that would be the 2 inch to the 3 inch. So you're going 1 to 3. So you're just going to go just like that. All right? Then you're going to then you're going to go to the bottom and do the same thing. So on this, it would be the 1/2 inches. So it's 7.5 up to 5.5. Yep. So
I can do math. Yay!
yay! Even this early in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay, 7.5 to 5.5. All right. Now I'm going to turn it and put it on the 2 inch. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to go to the 1, which is that score line, to that score line,
which is 3 inches.
3 inches. And then I'm going to come down here and go 5.5. to 7.5. All right. So there, see how that works?
Yes. I was nice and quiet and tried not to distract you while you were doing
Thank you, Amy. No distractions. All right. And then you're going to do the other end or the other side. It's really not the end, I guess. All right. So 1 to 3 and 7.5. See how I don't necessarily do things the same way every time? 7.5 to 5.5. As long as you end up in the same place, it's all right.
Well, you kind of did do it the same way.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I did, didn't I? Just the same but different. Okay. So 1 to 3 and 5.5 to 7, and push hard because you don't want to be done and realize you didn't get all the way through there.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't like going back and forth on something so tricky. So, All right. So there we have it. That's the end of the hard part right there.
Woo!
Yes.
That wasn't too bad.
No.
Bone folder.
Bone folder. Thank you, Amy. She reads my mind. Okay. And this, actually on this template, she put the mountains and valleys, which don't always register in my head.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really think about them too much, but.
And you can always fix it the other direction pretty easily.
Okay, Amy, did I mess up? No. It always looks like you messed up because look at it from the back and you can see there's a skinny part. But if you look at it from the front,
it looks really wide. Yeah.
So that's just a little, in fact, I'll turn it over. Okay, so we're going to go with this one. We're going to go up, and this one we're going to go up. Or, I don't know, however you want to say that. I guess this would be up. Up, like this. Okay. And then this one goes, it just goes flat. Okay. So that can't be right, but we'll start with that and see where we go from there. All right. So that goes this way. That goes this way. And that goes this way. Now we're getting it.
Now you're cooking with oil.
There you go. Quickly put your bone folder on there. All right. So there's that. And that's going to bend this way. Phew. Then you do it again. All right. So this time I'm going to do it this. And that's going to go that way. That's going to, so this goes up. This goes up. There. See, it gets easier the second time. And the third and the fourth. All right.
And then when you take a break, it's like you're starting all over again.
I know. It is. So, yep, that's right. All right. Yes, I haven't done this card for a little while because we had Christmas in between.
Yes, Christmas is such a busy time. I enjoy it, but...
All right. So there's the base of your card. Then you're going to take these strips. And...
that base looks a lot more complicated than it really was. I like that.
I didn't cut my white strips. Is that true?
Oh, unless you just left them in your...
No, I didn't cut it. So the white strip is 5 3/8 by 2 1/8. Seems like I always forget to cut something. So I'm going to do the, yeah. We got to show you how to do 2 5/8 because 8s are tricky for some people. So a half and then the next long, 2 lines after the half is 5/8. That made a lot of sense, right? to me.
16ths, 8ths, quarters, halves. That's
right. Okay, and then it is 5 and... oh, I did that wrong anyways. It was 2 1/8.
Oh, not 2 5/8.
No, 2 1/8. Now I'm second guessing myself. Okay, 2 1/8, and then 5 3/8. So 1, 2, 3 eighths. I'm going to turn that because
I think you already did it.
Mm-mm.
No.
Oh, I didn't do it wrong. You're right.
Yeah, you did 5 3/8. You just didn't cut the little...
Take me home, Calgon. Okay. That's a very
take me away.
I know. That's an old commercial. I have an old brain. Okay, so then you're going to take your big strip of black. Amy's laughing at me today. She has every right. Okay, and you're going to take this. Well, yes, I'm going to. Because you can actually put a sentiment on this afterwards. If I were more together, brave. I would have done it first, but...
she already applied the glue. She's committed.
I am committed now. So, or maybe I should be.
Took me a minute.
I was waiting, Amy. Wow, I got her. Okay, so that's for your sentiment or your message. And then you're going to do this. Get the corners nicely. And open this up. And look at your score lines. And it will fit.
With this cute little border.
Mm-hmm. And it's even on the ends, on the top and bottom.
Okay.
So you just have to center the side to side. Okay, so that's that for now. What?
When you stamp down your sentiment, if you have a goober, you can always stamp your sentiment on another piece of cardstock and stick it on there.
That is correct.
So don't get frustrated if you get a little goober.
That's right. Okay, now, speaking of goobers, we're going to try and put all of these black strips on. So I'm going to start with the fat one first, which goes in the center and looks too short. Is it too short?
It does look kind of short compared to the other one.
I can't remember.
Yeah, that one's... That one's 4.
It's 4 inches. That's what it's supposed to be. Why does it look so short?
I don't know.
Oh, well, it doesn't really matter. Nothing goes on it, so.
It's just having a wider border on one end.
Well, I'm not sure why. It shouldn't. And maybe it won't. Maybe when it's actually... No, it is. That's odd. It still looks good.
Yeah.
All right. So there's that one. The good news is all of them are the same.
Yeah. So you don't have to cut any more to adjust. Because that's always an option. If you had to, you could cut some down or cut new pieces to whatever size. But
makes me wonder if I... Well, makes me wonder what I did, but it doesn't really matter. So there's that one. With me, anything could have happened. Ah.
This is why we use the glue. We have room to wiggle.
I know. Exactly right. That's why I love this stuff. Okay, so there's those stripes. Oh, look at that. Extras.
All right. You were prepared.
Not really. Okay, and this goes here. And that one's right. I wonder if I wrote that dimension down wrong.
Huh.
Too late now, because I made up all the...
templates for Card Club?
Yeah, I sure did. I might rethink it.
And that's one of the things too about layering is you can adjust how much border is on there by changing your size. If you don't like a really narrow border, you know, frame, you can cut this smaller. It's play with it, see what you like.
All right, we're gonna give that a second. And here's Amy's job. Okay, so we'll bring this here.
Okay.
There they are. Right, so this one obviously is a black and a black and a white.
Okay.
With the butterflies. But to my eye, it looked a little stark.
Okay.
But I didn't really like this. That looked
kind of blah.
Kind of blah. So I wondered, what if we went ahead and did the black, but then we did an orange? Well, actually, this is, I should tell you what it actually is. It's Grapefruit Grove.
Ooh.
If we did that, and then we put a smaller white. What do you think of that?
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Or do you like this better, just so black and white?
Okay, so here I throw monkey wrenches in too.
Okay, go for it.
What if we had a Grapefruit Grove cut one size smaller that was bordered in there, and then
put the white on there?
I don't know. Nah, no, I don't like that.
I don't like it because this is the next size stitched.
Oh, it's a lot smaller. Yeah.
So you would have to cut it, which you could do. It
Right.
just wouldn't have the stitching.
Right.
But
so this is how it originally is.
Yeah.
And so then would you do it like this or would you do it on point?
I would do it square.
Square.
And then square.
I say we go for it. And then when we have the finished product, people can see both of them.
Okay, let's do it then. So.
And then you can say, to my wonderful friend, and send it to me.
Well, you are my wonderful friend.
You're my wonderful friend.
So you don't want to get too much glue on the outside of on your corners going this way, but this way, you do. So that's just throwing that out there for whatever that's worth.
Kind of keep that diamond center section where the glue is.
Right. And it does pretty much go to the top. Well, I guess you could overlap it any way you want. I liked it on the top. And I kind of used this to guide me just a little bit. So you can see I'm about the same. Or maybe you can't on the camera, but I can with my eye.
With your eye.
Oh, see, and I just about did what I told you not to do.
And then you would have had to
punch.
Yes.
All right. And we're going to put that right there. And like that. Okay? All right. And then if we had a block
I do
of
have
some
block.
sort. This is one thing that's a little bit tricky. So I'm going to put this on here. In fact, I'm going to glue this on. Let's see. And it can be wherever. Okay. All right. So I'm going to put this on.
Ooh, yeah.
Like that. All right. Then this is going to go right here. And the butterflies. Now I have to talk about the butterflies for a minute because this one I used blends on. And it was okay. This one I used colored pencils or watercolor pencils.
Nice.
And they were okay too. I don't like to color, so I always am very
but
hard
she does
on
a
myself.
good job.
So I was just going to tell you that what I used was Daffodil Delight, Calypso Coral, and Pumpkin Pie were the colors I used, both in the pencils and in the blends.
Okay.
And you can see how different they look. Of course, that has gobs of Wink of Stella on it, but still the color is quite a bit different. And of course, I colored them different.
And
so.
Wink of Stella will kind of lighten your blends.
That's true. So what I was going to say, though, is you got to be a little bit careful as to where your stamping
Sentiment is going to go.
Yeah, so you want to kind of know. So if I go right in there, where's that pencil? I'll make
you have to kind of audition your...
Yes, I'm just going to go like this. That'll erase. Because then that will fit. And I was going to go kind of
at a cockeyed.
Mm-hmm. You could go over here and put it in the corner too.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I like that, actually. Since I'm using that little tiny. Let's see. No, not really. Because that wouldn't go, that doesn't go any higher. So I'm just going to put it there like I originally thought. Which is probably why I originally thought.
Okay. And did you want the Memento Black?
Uh-oh, what's on my... Oh, bummer. Oh, that's my...
Your dot.
Brother. I'm losing it, Amy.
Well, you didn't put a dot on originally, so...
This is true. I didn't. All right. So hopefully I can do this in a one-shotter. Because I usually use my Stamparatus for all sentiments.
And something we didn't do is we did not put the cushion down under, but you still got a really nice
That's true. I got a nice one though, didn't I?
Yes.
Yay for me. Okay.
Woo-hoo! Oh, did you want to erase first? Or did you cover it good enough?
I didn't cover it, but almost.
Let's see.
Should I wait till it's you got a white one? Yep. I didn't want to smear that. Yeah, I think I'll wait.
Okay.
I can always erase it later.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to put this little guy right here. Much like that.
Pretty.
And then we're going to do our butterflies. So I like to give them just a little bit of movement. I also usually kind of bend that just a little bit where his body is. I did put Wink Stella on his body also.
What did you put on this body?
That one is just the
the blends.
Okay. Black blend.
At first I thought it was fuzzy.
Oh,
I was like, ooh.
No, not fuzzy. All right. Are these cut?
No, probably not. You know, I got my snips.
So I'll put one right there. And I might put half of one on the bottom. Doesn't need a full one.
Just a little pop-up to help with your bent dimension.
Yes, and just give it a little extra. Okay, now because I remembered that it was pretty tight fit, I'm putting that right up at the top.
So pretty.
And then I think I'll use this one. So same thing, which is
you're not in the frame.
Oh, sorry.
There, so they can see that you're just kind of.
I'm just flipping that a little bit. And then I bend the body and put.
She always thinks of these cool things that I forget.
Yes, and then Amy thinks of cool things I forget. Together we are one.
That's right.
Okay, I'm just going to put one dimension on there, and we're going to just kind of put him like that.
Pretty. I like it.
All right. So we're not going to use that big moth, but we will use this, and we'll put it on the back.
I think
Let's
you did
put it up too.
Yeah.
Yep. Might as well.
We like our
It works. That's right.
Sometimes it's nice to make cards that are limited places to write a message because it's hard to think of a really long message. And I feel like I need to fill the space.
Exactly. That's why a lot of times I put my sentiment right in the middle.
Right? Take up lots of space.
So, all right. So then I'll put that there, and then I'll decide whether I'm going to put another stamp there or not. I might just leave it for a note.
Yeah.
And I'll probably put something on this body so it's not so different than that body.
All right, so there are two design elements that are slightly different.
So you can look at it and see what you think. It's interesting how different the colors look.
I know. And I like them both.
I
don't think either one of them is like a bad way to go.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's your card for today.
All right. Enjoy making some Tower Fun cards.